Let's forget the worst of the year and let's celebrate the good stuff, the fun stuff, the challenging stuff, the best stuff. This is my list for the best films of 2018, the top 15, because I just had to really honor the ones that I did love from the year. Before we begin, here are the honorable mentions in ascending order. A film I expected nothing from. Wasn't on my radar, but good lord. By the end, it had uppercut me, sent me flying out of my shoes, and left me cold on the ground. Daveed Diggs is an absolute master at maybe everything, writing a powerful and insightful film with best friend and co-star Rafael Casal, who's also really good at the movie. It can juggle competing tones a little too often, but Blindspotting is the kind of film you will never forget. That climax, wow, just wow. Thoroughbreds is, sadly, one of those films that came out very early in the year, had some buzz at first, and has slowly slipped completely under the radar. Olivia Cooke and Anya Taylor-Joy are both absolutely fantastic in this dark, twisted, meaningful, bold, kind of funny, impactful, and seductively fun film about being young and trying to take control. Seeing Anton Yelchin for the last time cuts me kind of deep, and by the end I feel so much for two characters who feel very little of anything. I do understand the criticisms some have about Widows, that it's not as impactful as Steve McQueen's other work, that the story is too complex, that some actors feel wasted in their tiny roles. I agree with all of that, but the sheer craft on display from McQueen, writer Gillian Flynn, and with the performances of so many actors, it was enough for me to be riveted. The cinematography, the editing, the music, the themes underneath everything. Widows was not perfect, but I felt transported to something in the end. Yet again, something I expected not one thing from, only hearing that it was a strange, unique blend of narrative and documentary. In the end, I was completely amazed by American Animals, the kind of movie that makes you think, damn, why didn't I think of that? The style is fresh, the performances are magnificent, and Bart Layton is a filmmaker we need to watch. Some slow moments in the middle are recovered by a sickening climax and emotionally charged resolution that I can't get my mind off of. I think it's obvious now that some of my favorites have been movies I expected absolutely nothing from, and thus received something so bold, unique, and at times beautiful. Upgrade is the low-budget thrill ride destined to become a cult classic, with mind-blowing action, a heartbreaking story, and a terrific performance from Logan Marshall Green, who should never be called Diet Tom Hardy again. I have not stopped thinking about Upgrade, and you need to see it. I will admit that this movie is a tad on the long side and it can feel too slow at times, but Bad Times at the El Royale was an underrated balletic thrill ride into deep themes delivered by the best original writing of the year. Every performance fires on all cylinders. Drew Goddard shows off a masterful camera eye with DP Seamus McGarvey. Michael Giacchino's score is so many things at every moment, and I am permanently in love with Lewis Pullman and Cynthia Erivo. Give them as many things to do as possible, and you need to see this film. Black Panther was more than a Marvel movie, another comic book movie, or just another movie. It was a movement, a thing of meaning, and a reason for so many people out there to seek art. This is a blockbuster with far more on its mind than others of its ilk, and while the climactic CGI is poor, I find this to be such a minor criticism in a major success. Ryan Coogler made the big budget jump with so much finesse, clarity, and confidence in telling the kind of story that we need to see. More terrific performances than you can count. Chadwick Boseman and Michael B. Jordan carry us through the most powerful emotional journeys with their characters, and Rachel Morrison's cinematography and Ludwig Göransson's score are some of the best in the entire MCU. It ran the risk of being overhyped, but believe every word about Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Believe my own words about this film. It is one of the best animated movies I've ever seen. It is the best animated film of the year. It might just be the best Spider-Man movie ever, and it is just a great movie in every way. Miles Morales is nailed 100% in the first film. The other Spider people are hilarious, heartfelt, beautiful, bewildering, and perfect accomplices to Miles' journey. The voice acting for everyone is stellar. Daniel Pemberton's score is a thing of beauty. And did I mention how perfect the animation is? This is an every frame a painting situation. Believe it. This was an underseen, underappreciated, and undersold near masterpiece, one of the most finely crafted films of the year, and far more impactful than many will give credit to. First Man has blown so many space films out of the race for me, existing on the surface as a challenging immersion into what spaceflight was and still is like, what being on the surface of the moon would really feel like, and deeper underneath everything is this powerful, understated story of Neil Armstrong remaining steadfast in the wake of immense tragedy, setbacks, injury, risk, failure, and fear. Damien Chazelle is still one of our best working directors. Ryan Gosling needs more love for his performance, and the cinematography, music, editing, production design, and the intricacy of the direction made me want to cry. If someone had said to me last year that Spike Lee, whose last few films have not been anyone's favorites, would make one of the best films of the year, a true sledgehammer of cinema designed to break down false notions of our current state of racism and show you the bare truth of the United States within a riveting and at times hilarious comedy drama with an insane true story, I would have said that they were completely crazy, but making total sense. BlacKkKlansman is an insane story that makes total sense in the end. Features amazing performances from John David Washington, Adam Driver, and Topher Grace, and leaves everyone shocked to their core, unable to look away. It kind of had to be here. No, this is not my favorite film of the year, and I wrestled with the fact that I loved certain films more than this one, but it does not stop Avengers Infinity War from existing as an incredible cinematic achievement. The Russo brothers did the impossible, and that makes them mighty, creating a film that concisely fits overwhelming amounts of story and characters, and still manages to give you emotional weight, stakes, character arcs, meaning in every scene, an incredible villain for the ages, and still has an amazing score and exceptional camera work. utilizing the IMAX ratio, but not on the Blu-ray for some dumb reason. Avengers Infinity War is something that has defined the genre, raised the bar, and it will be insanely hard to follow it up right. In the Russos we trust. A terrifying film in every way, Ari Aster has one twisted, dark, fascinating, amazing, and deceptively powerful mind we can see in every frame of Hereditary. From literally the very first frame, we are hooked into something beyond our comprehension, something so twisted we want to stop watching but we never can. Ari Aster has us in the Ludovico technique, forcing us to watch things happen that have never happened on screen before, at least I've never seen them before, and by the end I was almost laughing at the sheer insanity unfolding while still being completely rooted in the intense themes of family, grief, loss, and the lingering effects of death. And also, I just love these story ideas of, what if there was a weird society of people controlling everything? Awesome. Toni Collette deserves so much more awards consideration for driving so much of this extraordinary piece of horror cinema called Hereditary. I praised Black Panther and Avengers Infinity War for accomplishing things never seen before, managing to be blockbusters with more on their minds than we're used to, and delivering cinematic experiences for the ages. Mission Impossible Fallout does all of this for me, does it better in fact, and keeps going to thrill me with every twist, turn, piece of dialogue, character moment, musical note, camera movement, camera placement, and the evolution of the masterful action. Tom Cruise is the defining action hero. Christopher McQuarrie is becoming my favorite working director of the last 5 years. This is a perfectly shot film with a riveting score, excellent supporting performances across the board, and the most incredible action finale I think I've ever witnessed. Now for something completely different of the last entry, Roma. This is a sensitive, tone-perfect, deeply personal and quietly moving piece of cinema we are lucky to still get today. I was lucky enough to see Alfonso Cuarón's amazing film in cinemas, where I was thoroughly immersed in the sound, sights, feelings and movements of 1970s Mexico and the journey of Cleo, played by the best actress of the year, Yalitza Aparicio. Cuarón's cinematography is perfect. His usage of water as a visual theme connected to the character arcs is genius, and in the end, Roma is an astonishing piece of art that should live for eternity, and one that really did change a part of me. And the best yet, it's on Netflix right now. Watch it. Please. And finally, we reach my number one. Annihilation was very, very early in the year, perhaps a little too early to have made the right kind of impact to general audiences who were lucky enough to see it in cinemas. As an Australian, I could only get this transcendent film on Netflix, which I still feel a little bit of anger about, but it does not diminish the raw impact this film has on me. It has excellent performances from everyone, just happens to feature a cast led by women who are all incredible, and Alex Garland is, like Ari Aster and Christopher McQuarrie, one of my definite favorite directors working today. His writing is superb, layering deep themes about self-destruction, the nature of cancer when it affects those you love, being helpless to those dying in your arms, the pain which we carry eventually destroying us, and acceptance of one's mortality. The bear scene is terrifying. The score is beautiful in every single way. I've listened to it over and over again. The cinematography makes me want to bow at the feet of master cinematographer Rob Hardy, and the finale is the cinematic experience I live for every day. Annihilation changed a part of me, just like Roma, always for the better, and I will strive to create art this perfect for the rest of my life. So this was my list of the best films of the year. It has been a fascinating year for film and has featured some movies that I will never forget. Do you agree with my list? Disagree? Other thoughts? Let me know down below. My final video for 2018 will be my annual best shots of the year, so stay tuned, and if you want more Mr. Movies, follow the links coming up right now, and thank you so very much for watching.